Hi, friends. Thank you for joining in today. Thank you, Akash, for taking the time and sharing your journey with us. So let me briefly introduce Akash. Akash Sambangi is one of our students, and he has recently joined as an NLP engineer at Gyani.ai, which is a very interesting startup. This startup tries to translate speech to text for Indic languages or Indian languages. And this startup is also funded by Samsung Investments. I see a lot of potential here because as there are millions, actually hundreds of millions of Indians who speak in their mother tongues, I'm sure a lot of technical devices need technologies like this. And just to give some introduction, Akash finished his BTech in Electrical and Electronics Engineering in 2018 and worked as a systems engineer at Infosys for 2 years before transitioning to an NLP engineer at Gyani.ai. So thank you, Akash, for taking the time and sharing the journey.
Welcome. Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. Yeah.
So let's dive into the key crux of things. So while working as a full-time employee, you successfully completed all the assignments, all the coursework. You attended multiple live sessions,
Yes.
right? So how did you balance your work and the course completion?
So when it comes to balance, I would say I was actually a little lucky. We might also say it is because of a service company or something like that. But the work, I didn't have a lot of work. I was there in the project since day one, yes, but it was not an out and out work. I was not overloaded with work at any point of time, and also one is finding time, and if you have interest you obviously find time at the end of the day. So I try to spend at least 3 to 4 hours a day on an average. That is, if I'm not able to do it on a weekday, I'll try to cover it up on the weekend, and then I'll try to take at least 3 to 4 hours a day. And it is not like it is mostly suggested to have a fixed time or something, but I didn't have a fixed time because I wanted to have it flexible enough so that. But I just had this goal that each week or something I'll have to have an average of 3 to 4 hours per day, either by looking at the videos or completing assignments, so on and so forth. For assignments, it is I used to have a deadline like, okay, maximum I'll spend maybe 1 week on an assignment, or maybe even if it is very hard I'll take 2 weeks or so. So doing that, and I got interest once I got into the course, and so everything fell into place.
So you self-imposed deadlines of your own for assignments.
Yes.
That's a very nice strategy, actually. That's what most universities do. We don't want to impose it, but happy to see that you have imposed it on your own. Very good.
I was actually in mainframe project, so that was one of the reasons why I chose Applied AI.
Oh, so you're working in mainframes, okay?
Yes. I was working in supply chain division in mainframe. So I heard of Applied AI course from one of my uncle. He works at Qualcomm. So he was the one who suggested, okay, why don't you try this and stuff. And I also had this small curiosity kind of thing. What is ML? How do they do it and all that stuff? So yeah, so that is where it started. But then once I came in, it was first 1 or 2 months. It was to be honest, it was not easy actually.
Sure.
So even completing the first 2 assignments were like, the first one is also fine, but I still remember there is some assignment called K nearest neighbors, I guess. Yeah. So I struggled a lot actually for it, but I can happily say that it took me 3 weeks. Applied AI was always there, but each step when I was stuck somewhere or something, like I even remember one of, I think I'm not sure if it is Brahma sir or someone. We even have a Zoom call, I guess, now if I look back at it, it's a very simple one, and it doesn't seem like a big problem. But for you to take that responsibility for each and every assignment, for each and every single person, that stood out to me. And then I thought, okay, people are able to put in so much effort towards one student, and why can't I do replicate the same? And so that was also a little
motivating. It's very common to see people struggling in the first couple of assignments.
Yeah.
But then things become easier. And whenever somebody gets stuck, we have this hard deadline that whenever somebody asks a question, we have to answer within like 24 hours and evaluate the assignment, give feedback and things. So I'm happy it all worked out very well for you. It's very nice. Cool. So since you had about 2 years of experience in mainframes at Infosys, I think you attended multiple interviews, some of them through Applied AI course placement team, some of them on your own. So what was your overall experience from the interviews? what was expected out of somebody like you who had 2 years experience, non-machine learning experience in mainframes or something like that? So what was the expectation in interviews? What types of questions were often asked to you? Just wanted to get a sense of that.
Yeah. So even though I was working in mainframe, but at least Applied AI course took me 1 year to complete. So I'm not the fastest learner in the bunch,
Sure.
but it took me 1 year to complete. So I went through it, each and everything. I didn't skip in a video or skip any assignment. I wanted to go through it complete all and all. So once I did it, the interviews I started getting calls from Applied AI as well, from the placement course, your placements, and also I started getting the calls. So we were not expecting a pandemic. It was just starting over there and all that stuff. So I was not expecting so much, and I was attending. But the main thing what I did was, even though all through the course, when I was doing the course, my only thing in mind is I should complete it. I should somehow switch my job. I should somehow change my role to an ML and AI, standard, because I started liking it. Even though I'm working as a mainframe developer, but most of my day is dedicated to ML and AI. So like I started getting getting more into that, and I wanted to change my designation as soon as possible. And so that was the reason, even while doing the course, I tried attending 1 or 2 interviews, but that obviously goes into it, but that gives me good experience, saying that, okay, what can I expect, what are they expecting from me, and all that. So I'd suggest it's okay, even if just to know how it goes, it's okay even if you take 1 or 2 interviews and see, at least to know what they expect. So that happened to me, and I clearly got what are the expectations and everything. So after that 1 year, I started I wanted a job, to get into some other role as soon as possible. That was in my mind. So and also this was a situation, this pandemic was a situation. So altogether, like it was like I was getting a little frustrated. I was attending few interviews, this, that, everything was happening. But through Applied AI, the first one which I attended was Ogini. So see, most of the interviews which I attended, I was honest to them, saying that, okay, I was working as a mainframe developer, but this is my past 1 year experience, and these are the projects. And for obviously for the resume preparation and all, Applied AI was with me. The whole placement cell was with me. So they reviewed my profile. They have gone through, and obviously we have written blogs and the 2 detailed case studies we have done, right? So that comes into play. We can take the interview in our way by just guiding the, like, talking about those projects which we have done. So that helped me a lot. So I mean, most of the interviews,
so which means in interviews you are able to guide the interviewer based on projects you have done.
Correct. It becomes a lot easier. So we can actually prove that we can code, and we can build solutions with the data, and this is this solution which I've built, and we can actually showcase
because you put all your code on GitHub, you have a blog,
yes.
You can showcase it to people. Okay.
Yes.
What about the interview questions themselves? What was expected out of you?
Yeah, mostly even for a fresher or somebody with less than 2 years experience, they consider it as a fresher. So for us, people of our level, mostly the rounds will be for an ML engineer or something. The first round will be, it will either be coding, some sort of basic coding in Python or something like that, or of medium level of difficulty, or it will be a task which they'll give. They'll give me some data set or something like that, and they'll ask me to get something out of it. For example, one of them was Ojini was talking about, right? So they gave me 3 problems. They had coding, they had this deployment of in a server or something, and then they also had one task work. So, and deadlines also are very tough. All this has to be done in 1 day and all that. So few of them I did not go through, few of them I went through, and one more was Green Deck, if I'm not sure. That was the second company which I attended. So they asked me to build an app altogether. So it was like a web app. It's not full-fledged app, but it was like a web app. But that was new to me. I had to learn, how should I, deploy. And obviously, we learned how to do it on EC2 on Applied AI, but they want me to use Heroku, and they wanted me to deploy. So one thing I would say is, I'm like, I'll touch upon this later. So actually, what Applied AI taught me is how to learn. More than what I learned from the course, I learned how to learn. I learned how to Google, in short.
That's very, very important.
Yeah. Googling is actually, people think it's very easy, but that's a very good skill. If you have, you can shine anywhere if you want. So that helped me a lot, at least getting through the first, I got through the 2 or 3 rounds of interview of that, I guess. And then they were looking for, more, more experience in deployment side and all that stuff. So I didn't get through that. It was this one interview which I reluctantly went and attended. I thought, okay, boss, this is an, MNC kind of thing. So already I've, not gone through, like I've attended 4 or 5 interviews, but I've not cleared it. So what's going to happen? Maybe I should stay or something like that. I was in a little down mode, but anyway, I went and tried it. It was in my hometown. So it was in Chennai. So I finished office. I just, went and attended it that day. Luckily, actually the first round was, about what I know about ML to get an idea on that stuff. So that was fine. They were okay with my profile.
What was the typical difficulty of questions that you encountered?
Correct. So most of the questions are of medium to slightly difficult. It is not, very hard. So at least to people of my experience, it is medium to slightly hard. It's not, solvable kind of questions, but you need to put in little thinking. But if you have solved all the assignments, then at least you should be confident enough that you will be able to give a good attempt at it. So I attended an interview at Merit. So I had 2 offers before joining Gnani. I had 2 offers. So one of the other offer is, Merit Group at Chennai. So the round of interview, what they gave me was, they gave me a data set. It had, all text data and everything, all of that. So they wanted me to build a model, it is a multi-class classification problem. Okay. So we have solved many problems with, text data, doing multi-class classification or all that stuff. So, and they wanted me to use literally, and they gave me open access to the internet. So I have already our assignments and everything. I have saved them on my drive. I have the code and all that stuff. So all I had to do was, basic things I had to do. I had to do data processing, which is very important. I had to do, and that was on spot. It was not like you take one day answer. So that was on spot, going on the premises. So I had to do some data cleaning, and I had to do some EDA, and finding out which features were important was the best part of them. That was the key over there. So there were other people, but since I was able to find that feature which contributed to my results, that was the key over there. So the EDA part, and after that, once we did it, then some data pre-processing, and then we'll put it into the pipeline. And already we have notebooks, Jupyter notebooks in our course with different techniques. One with KNN, one with 9base. We would have a different. All I had to do was implement that template over here, and then
you already implemented all of it on other text problems. It was just use the same stuff and finish it. Good.
Yes, and also we had that practice is very good. What I think, see, we have different graphical representations in our notebook itself built. So obviously, when you show a result to someone, I'm showing them, okay, this is the performance of this model. This is how they are performing compared to each other, and this is how I arrived at this solution. And all this happened in a span of some 3 to 4 hours. So they were actually impressed to see someone get from data to the end result with comparisons and everything stuff within 3 to 4 hours. So
thorough detailed analysis and modeling.
Yeah, they were actually not expecting the results also. They were just expecting the method which I was following. So the key points over there is the EDA and all that stuff, but I was able to produce the results itself. So
very good.
And that whatever I was able to do it that day. It is, plus or minus 5% with error rate of whatever they have in the production already.
Oh, okay. So that's very good.
So it was almost close to that. And so they were satisfied with it. So after that, I had, 1 or 2 rounds, and then I cleared that. So I had that in the bag, and then came Gnani.
So you just mentioned that the questions are typically medium or slightly on the harder side. If possible, can you give some examples so that people who are listening to this, because something medium for somebody may be easy for others, could be hard for others, right? Yes. If you can share a few questions, that will be very helpful.
Yeah. So this question, what I was talking about, right? So this is basically like you get PDF data. So this PDF data will be extracted from anywhere. It can be medical PDF data, or any sports data or something. Some PDF data they'll extract it, and there are a lot of the challenges which I faced was there were a lot of links or other things which are not useful for us. So we have to go through that. And basically data cleaning, but we have to know, something of regex. Because I was not well versed in regex or something, but we can anyway Google it up and we can get it.
Okay.
But the thing is to get it working then and there.
So data cleaning using regular expressions was also a tricky part that was tested on.
Correct. So like we have to do that in the real world. We face it. So that was also tested over there. And after that, I had then this data pre-processing and all things happened, right? So then finding the features. So which feature, and then we have to see which feature contributes more to the output and so on. So that EDA process was a little difficult, is what I thought. A few companies had SQL rounds also. So on touching on database and SQL and all that stuff. So usually what they ask is two joins with two tables, or two table joins, or something like it, or they'll say, if I join these two tables, and what is the highest percentage, or what is the eighth highest, or what is the second highest? See, what is the highest we can get the max. They'll ask what is the second highest. So slightly tricky questions. I wouldn't say it's not solvable. Actually, we solved similar problems in Applied AI. We also have an SQL. So if we are thorough enough with the content and whatever the 30 assignments we solve, and we go through the mock interviews, I don't think it is very hard to crack. It will take time for some people, but it's not very.
But a very useful data point that I just got is, while in our course videos we talk about how to deploy using Flask APIs on EC2, we did not cover Heroku. But that's a very good data point. What we'll do surely is, in the next few live sessions, we will also add one live session on how to deploy using Heroku. We'll surely do that, because that might help some people. Why not? Because it's a live session, it's optional. People who want to go through can go through it later, or people who are attending live sessions will surely benefit from it. We'll surely do that. That's a very good data point for us. Cool.
Yeah. So actually, I wanted to add, like, even after joining Gnani, like they revolve around, like, I know we'll come to the topic, but actually I benefited from the live sessions even after joining. So
okay.
Yeah, so that is because you took an session on end-to-end chatbot building. How do you do it with different platforms available, Rasa, Dialogflow, or building it from scratch? So like whatever was publicly available, I was going through it. I sit every Sunday. I try to see as much as possible. So that also helped me. Even after my course duration, I try to keep up to date of whatever you're teaching and whatever you're
cool, very good. And I'm happy to see that you're constantly learning on weekly basis, and you have learned to learn. I think that's something that the whole team at Applied AI Course are very proud of. So if we can teach people to learn, I mean, they'll go ahead and do miraculous things in the future. Cool. So one very important question is, what suggestions would you give to students like you, right? When you were a course participant, so who have a typical job at a services company, how do you think they can make most out of the course while also being employed, and how to manage time, how to make the most of the course and successfully? What are your suggestions to people like that to successfully transition to machine learning careers?
So one thing is, being in a service company, actually we think, at least I believe, that we have a little advantage over there. We can at least afford to spend a couple of hours a day. If not, however busy we are, we can at least spend on an average couple of hours a day. And doing this, we have to be consistent. That is the only thing at the end of the day. You can take a day or two off, it's fine, but you have to compensate it the other day when you come back. You'll have to be consistent. Keep constant deadlines is what I like. What I always follow and what I always enforce. Don't keep the deadlines too hard so that you don't meet and you get frustrated later. We know, like, each individual know their potential and up to what mark they are. So keep a deadline and plan your things accordingly. Initially, I was not doing it in the course, but then once I started going through it, then I understood, okay, this is not going to happen. Let's keep a deadline. So videos I can watch, because see, videos, I'm a person, I'm a student who doesn't get everything out of a video with a single watch. I am like, I go to the second watch, I go to the third watch, then I see nuances, start taking notes. That is that helped me a lot. Even while interview, even if I have to give an interview today, I have 3 notebooks just for Applied AI. So I just go through it. I don't go through any other material. I just go through it. It's detailedly written. It's literally like copy pasting what the content, whatever you gave in the screen. So start taking notes is one point. The second point is have your deadlines. Try to meet them. At every regular interval, and then be consistent. Just you know your progress, right? So just start completing those 30 assignments. Your aim should be to actually successfully able to complete those 30 assignments on yourself or with some help.
Akash, thank you very much for your time, and thanks on behalf of all of our students, all of our YouTube viewers, and also the whole team at Applied AI Course for sharing some extremely valuable insights.
Yeah.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you for your time, and thank you very much.